Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing good. I've got another video for you today. Today I'm going to show some of the cards that I've received through the mail since my last video that I posted about 2 weeks ago, showing the cards I had received up until that point. Now I've received a bunch more, so we're gonna look at those cards. What I do is I will take several cards along with a self-addressed stamped envelope and a handwritten letter that I individualize to the specific player and requesting their signature. A lot of them will send cards back for free, signed. Some of them do charge a nominal fee. It's usually like $5-10. Some of the more better, well-known players will charge $20-25, but that's pretty rare. Even if it's $20-25, it's a lot cheaper than when players are at card shops or shows signing. So it's usually a pretty good deal from a financial standpoint, but it's also, there's an element of fun to it. There's an element of not knowing what's going to come back when you send it out, whether you'll ever see those cards again, whether they'll come back with the actual person's signature on or something that's printed. I know there's some that have used stamps in the past, but most of them seem to sign it, and I would say that my percentage rate seems to be like 75%, and I've been kind of going with players that are known to sign and to send things back rather than some of the kind of long shots. But anyway, let's get into it and show the ones that I've received in the last 2 weeks. Also, because I've been doing this only since May, I am just now starting to get some of the return to sender ones back where the addresses did not work. So I've got a few players that it just didn't pan out with them, that came back. We'll start with one. It's pretty sad, but I had this one out, and it's got several cards in it. That's Ryan Sandberg. And while mine were pending, unfortunately, as you guys know, he passed away. And so those came back returned to sender along with the payment that I'd sent, which, I mean, very sad, but what can you do? Next, we've got Pat Jarvis. Pat Jarvis, this one did get to him, but he did not sign it. Instead, he sent back the card unsigned with this little letter, there we go, saying it's got all his pricing and whatnot. He says he charges $10 per card, and I'm not sure that I'm a big enough fan of Pat Jarvis or know him well enough, as he was before my time. Not really, I don't know. I'm probably not going to pay $10 to get his signature, but now I know he's not free. Didn't know that before. So you learn a little bit. Johnny Buchik from the Boston Bruins, I was really hoping to get his. His came back, so I'm going to have to look and see if there's a better address for him, because I'd really still like to get his. Couple of return to senders. Mark Clear, I know he only signs one, and my address matched up with the most recent ones, didn't work. And then Mackie Sasser, don't know what was wrong with his, but his came return to sender as well, so that wasn't very good. But so anyway, that's the bad news. Let's get to the ones that actually did come back. Starting off, we've got hold on, I think I lost one of them in the stack. Got mixed up. Give me 1 second and I'll find it. Sorry about that. You can tell that I really prepared for this video. Oh, here it is. It just got thrown on the bottom of the stack. So first up, we got a hockey player. He played throughout the 80s. He was started off on the Blues, Rob Ramage, and then he played for the Maple Leafs, and then he also played for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I got 3 of his cards signed, which are pretty cool. He has a bit of a his post-career, unfortunately, he had like a drunk driving charge and ended up going to jail and stuff, but kind of a sad end to his post-career sort of thing. But he is signing, and his cards do look nice signed, and happy to get those. And then next up, we've got a Seattle Mariner, Phil Bradley, which throughout the 80s he played for the Mariners. I've got 1985 tops, 1986 tops, and 1988 Flair. Pretty cool cards to get from him. Next, we've got Herm Winningham. Now, Herm Winningham, I sent to him 3 cards. I sent an 86 Fleer, an 88 Fleer, and this 1990 Topps. The only thing that came back was the 1990 Topps signed. He did not sign the 86 Fleer or the 1988 Fleer. I had looked on the Facebook page where I'm a member of and other returns from him. And it seems that he's willing to sign more than one card for a lot of folks, but he often sends back the wrong cards or different cards. So he seems to, I'm not sure, he must not be very organized with, when he's putting them back in envelopes or whatnot, but I only got one of the cards back. I was hoping to get the other ones. This is probably the one I wanted least, but it is what it is. I'm happy to have it. Next is, this guy was pretty good. I thought, he's kind of one of those lower grade stars that at the time he was really good, but Kent Herbeck, Minnesota Twins, 1985 Topps, 1987 Topps, really crazy, cool looking signature on his, so happy to get him. Next up, now this was one of those long shot ones. This was a player that I really liked in the 80s, hockey player, and I sent it to an address that had not had any, he did not have any successes since 2021, I think, but I still sent it anyway. And in the time since, it sounds like it looks like he's been signing a few in the last month or so, but and I only sent one. I probably should have sent some different ones. I would have chosen a different card or 2 cards, but I wasn't sure, I don't know. It was one of the first cards I sent out back at the beginning of May. But here's Kevin Dineen, played for the Hartford Whalers, and I think he played for the Philadelphia Flyers after that, but he was well known in the 80s as a player for the Whalers. Happy to get his signature. And here's a big one, Dennis Eckersley. Now he charges $10 for a signature. I ended up getting his 1976 Topps rookie card signed, which looks really nice, as well as some, like this is a 1987 Topps traded Tiffany. I just love the picture on it, and it's got him, he looks so serious on most of the other cards and stuff, so this one he's actually smiling, and it's just a cool picture. So we got that one done, and this one, this upper deck one, just has really cool artwork. And we've got another one of him on the A's. So got 4 of Eckersley, which, he's kind of a big name player. Really cool to get that one. Then next, I've got Dan Petrie. Now Dan Petrie, I messed up originally. I sent it to him. There's an address I had that went straight to him. And he sent back a letter in the mail that said that he's got a charity that he's connected with. I think it's called Catch for Children, that I think was set up by Sparky Anderson before Sparky died. And he wants he's got an individual that is kind of the spokesman for that organization. He wants you to send it to with a check or money order, but not cash, for $10, and he will get it signed. So I did it right the second time and managed to get Dan Petrie, so happy to get a Tigers autograph. Here's one that I was waiting on for a while. I think this is another one of those players that does them in batches. Some of them, it seems like they're not going to come back, but then I'll start seeing tons of people posting they received from him all at the same time, so it seems like he lets them pile up and then does them. But here's Bruce Bachete. If I mispronounce his name, I'm sorry, but I don't know how to pronounce everybody's names. But he was an A throughout the 80s. Here's his 85 Topps and his 87 Topps as well. Cool cards. Here's another hockey from a player. He was on the Penguins and the Maple Leafs in the 70s. He was on the Maple Leafs, Rick Kehoe. I knew him more on the Penguins because I wasn't alive in the 70s, but I got a 70s card signed of him as well as this Penguins one. And my understanding is he's pretty accessible for signing autographs, so that's pretty cool. And then next I've got another Tiger on an 85 Topps. I like the 85 Topps for the Tigers because they kind of reference back to the previous year, which was 84 when they won. So this set always, I had a special love of this set because it was kind of the World Series team. But we got Lance Parrish. Lance Parrish charges, I want to say like $10, but don't quote me on that. It might be 15. I actually sent he sent me a different card back than the one I sent, because usually what I'll do is I'll write my letter and I'll take a picture of it with the card that I actually send, or the cards that I actually send to them. And I noticed this card was really off-centered, and I know that I chose like one that was super centered and in really good shape to send to him. And I also noticed there was like a printer dot on the one that I had sent to him as well. On the R, there's like a yellow dot. It's not on this one. And there's the tiger logo on this one is a lot more out of focus, which sometimes you ran into that with these older cards. So it's a different card for, so he did a switcheroo with the same exact card. And I'm not sure, maybe, it could be any reason why he did it. Maybe he screwed up on his signature, maybe spilled some coffee on it, who knows. But for some reason, he sent back a different 1985 Topps that's a little off-centered and isn't as nice as the one I sent him, but you know what? I'm not going to complain. Just pointing it out. But next we've got Seattle Mariners, Jim Beattie. We've got 1985 Topps and 1987 Topps. Really cool to get those. And then here's one. I don't do as much football, but I do have some football cards. Football's not really my sport. I like baseball, hockey, and basketball a lot more, but I definitely know who Roger Craig is, and he was a good player, part of the 80s, team with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and all them, but he signs and he likes to add on all of his stats and stuff, which are really cool. He's a really good signer, and he does them all for free as well, so glad to get a few from Jerry Rice. And then next up, we have Toby Hara. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Got an 81 Fleer and an 86 Fleer, as well as an 87 Topps of him. And then here's an early 80s Tiger. I don't remember him. I think he may have only been on the Tigers for a year. I don't know that he was really in the major leagues for very long, but we got Jim Lentine, and he wrote back to me and wished me luck on my collection and wrote a really nice letter back. So really cool to add him into the collection. I've got a section that's just for Detroit Tigers. And then we've got Steve Garvey, and Steve Garvey's signature is kind of scribbly, but I ended up getting a 1979 Topps when he was on the Dodgers, as well as a 1984 Don Ross. And I love these 84 Don Rosses. They I think the photography was outstanding, unparalleled until like 1989 Upper Deck came out. Just beautiful portraiture on those cards, especially compared to like 83 and 82 Don Ross that came out before. They really kind of upped their game with photography. But I really love this portrait of Steve Garvey. I thought that was probably the best card to get autographed by him, so chose that one. But yeah, great player. Next up is one who I got signed when I was a little kid, and I resent to him as an adult. Here's the one that I got signed as a kid. This was when he was actually still playing for the Red Wings. So I sent 3 different ones because I know he signs as well now through the mail, and I ended up getting a Topps one, or a Peachy, sorry, and then Score 91 and 1990 Score as well. So definitely cool. The signature looks pretty similar to how it looked in his playing days. Some signatures change. His kind of looks the same, but we ended up getting 3 of those. And then next we've got another Tiger who was a pitcher in the late 80s, early 90s, Mark Leiter. I think he also played for the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken. But he wrote me back a really nice letter about how he had fond memories playing at the old Tiger Stadium before they tore it down, and he signed 2 of my cards, and so I've got his signature also on the letter that he signed or wrote back, which is cool. So I ended up getting 3. He does charge a fee. I think I sent like $5 for 2. Don't know. I'll have to double check. I didn't check before I started filming this. I kind of film these on the fly without planning things out. Don't know what he charges, but he charges a small fee as well. And then lastly is probably the biggest one of these last 2 weeks, and that's Paul Molitor. Ended up getting a 1984 Donruss, and I think he charges $20 for his signature, but he's Paul Molitor, so I think he can. But anyway, Paul Molitor, 1984 Donruss. Love this card. Looks beautiful. And then we've got 1985 Fleer. Now I chose this card specifically because the picture is so pale on it that I thought the signature would just pop on it, which it does, and it looks great on it. Although, yeah, is it in focus? I'm trying to get it in focus. Hopefully it's in focus, but anyway, it's a really cool, looks really good. And then lastly, I got another Tiffany. I love these Tiffany's. So I try to send them out when I can. This is 1988 Topps Tiffany. So they're like super glossy, as you can see it like shining back at you. But anyway, that one I thought looked really good too. And so ended up getting 3 from Paul Molitor, which very happy to get those and add those to the collection. So that's it for this the last 2 weeks. Hopefully we will get some more in the mail, and I'll be able to make another video to show you guys what new ones came in. I do have a bunch that I've got queued up. I've got to write letters, and because I individualize them, sometimes it takes me a little longer to come up with things, especially if they're players that I'm not familiar with. Sometimes I'll research a little bit about them online first so that I can learn about them and kind of say something that is kind of makes sense to them or makes sense to me, or shows that I've done a little bit of homework and I'm not just asking for random signatures and whatnot. So I will get, as they come in, I will pile them up, and then I'll probably make another video. Maybe not next week, but maybe in 2 weeks, because there's a holiday this week, so I don't know what the mail's going to look like. But hopefully we'll get another one up soon for you guys to see. And then if you guys are doing this too, let me know what signatures you guys have received, or which ones you saw that you liked in this video, because it's always fun to talk with other people who are doing the same thing. It's really kind of a fun activity. It really kind of brings new life to a lot of these old junk wax cards that are, a lot of them are worthless, but it's kind of fun to get signatures and see what comes back. So anyway, that's what I got this month, and hopefully, or not this month, but the last 2 weeks. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.